Whiskey 1 India Kilo.
Well, good evening there. Jim will put you on the list.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a list pretty much all day, kind of leaning to one side. Been tossed about by the bluster winds and the snow, which continues to fall here in East Pointe, Michigan. And been out twice to clear stuff off, and it just keeps a-coming. But, oh well. I'm sure there'll be lots of people complaining about that in our area tonight. Anyway, thank you for putting me on the list, and I will be standing by. Whiskey 1 India Kilo.
All right there, Jim. Very good. Well, you know, no ham radio operator is going to complain about the snow because it's free. We all know ham radio operators like free stuff no matter what it is. Well, we can start an early bird list. We got 5 minutes to net time. I'm at 8 today. Jim is here. Take your time if you're checking in. Get an early bird list going on. Call, sign, and name very slowly, please.
Well, good evening, Chuck. This is KI8M Gary. One, United Tango Quebec, WTQ, Pouce, England, Central Florida.
Alrighty, well, I want to thank, of course, Jim's here, Gary is here, Bruce is here. We got an early bird list going on. Yes, it's an early bird list for the Whcop Zombie Alert Fusion at I'm at 8 today. Name is Chuck. And we're starting an early bird list. So, do we have anybody else? Checking in early. Call, sign, and name. Name slowly. Alpha Charlie 8, Zulu Delta, Dave.
V8, TBO, Danny.
WB 8E Walt.
K4, PYA, Kilo 4, Papa Yankee Alpha, Robert, Independence Township.
Alright, we'll stop for a minute. Net control recognizes Alpha Charlie 8 Zulu Delta Dave, W8 TVO Danny, WB80 Walt, and K4 PYA Robert. So this is at 8 today. Yes, it's the Whcop Zombie Alert Fusion Net. We got some early bird check-ins going on. Looking for some more early bird check-ins. We got 3 minutes or less for the net, but I'll take you. So call, sign, and name slowly, please. Alright, I did see on my thing here, a KK4JW, didn't get a name, but you are on the list. So once again, it's ending today, getting some early bird check-ins with less than a minute to go. So you can just crank things up. We're going to officially start the engines, close the doors, put the seatbelts on, and start this net. So I'm looking for check-ins. All are welcome, of course. I just need your call sign and name. Alright, I just got a W8 LLZ. John checking in. I'm getting a few check-ins on the hotspot here that are not making it over to the repeater. We're going to hope things cure themselves. Let's hope that happens. Maybe somebody will get the old Tanya Harding out and hit the machine a few times and stuff will happen. So welcome one and all to the Whcop Zombie Alert Fusion Net. This is NA Today. We're looking for some more check-ins. Call, sign, and name.
W8 LLZ, John, St. Clair Source.
All right there, John. We got you on the list. Any other check-ins? Call, sign, and your name. Slowly, please.
Kilo 8, Papa Delta Juliet Dorian.
All right, Kilo 8, Papa Delta Juliet. Dorian, we got you on the list. Anybody else? All right, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start some things here. We're going to say hello to one another and go from there. We're not going to have any big topic tonight unless somebody thinks of something along the way. But it's been a while since we've sat back to find out what's going on, what's happening in your life. What are you doing? Do you have any projects? Have you required? I can't even say this. Have you gotten any new equipment? Have you gotten any new equipment? We want to know about this. You know, what are you building? What are your projects? Whether it's ham radio or you're redoing your kitchen, we want to know about it. We want to know what's happening. Some plans might be coming up. We want to know about that. What are you doing? Did you participate in Winter Field Day? Did you do any of that? We'd like to know how that went for you. W1IK, welcome to the net.
NHZA Net Control for the Whcop Thursday night 4 FM System Fusion Net here on the Zombie Alert Network. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening all aboard. I'm getting ready to sear a center-cut pork loin chop in the cast iron skillet here on the stove. So I will tell you more about what I'm all about on the second go-round. With that, Net Control, NHZA in the group, Whiskey 1 India Kilo, Jim in East Point, Michigan.
All right, very good there, Jim. Last night on the 2-meter vertical sideband net, we had a whole big discussion because I went through the snow that was like up to my neck. There was at least 2 feet of snow on top of the barbecue, and I fired it up. I didn't even clean off the barbecue. I let the heat from the barbecue melt the snow and 20 feet around it. I got the old barbecue up to 900 degrees, seared a couple steaks on each side for about 2.5 minutes. Lowered the heat a little bit and finished them off, and it was the best steak we ever had. And we didn't have to shovel any snow in the backyard, because like I said, it had it up to 900 degrees. It melted everything. All right, KIM. Gary, what's going on? What's happening? Projects? What's going on over there? Over to you.
Okay, good evening, Chuck, and everybody else on the net this evening. This is KIAM. Well, actually, I've been doing a little bit of checking online and trying to replace a fishing reel, of all things, right? You probably ask me, why am I looking at a fishing reel when I don't fish? I do eat fish, though, so I guess that's close enough. Because I want to launch line up into the trees when the weather breaks for portable operations. And I've got a, I guess you'd call it a spinner casting reel. That might be the right name, as opposed to an open spinning reel. And what I've discovered in a hurry is that the cheaper reel really does snag up really, really bad. So that is my project. It is ham radio related, and it's something I got to get done. And I'm going to probably make a road trip Saturday to go to Lake, I think it's called Lakeview, Sporting Goods in Jefferson and 10 Mile Road. So that's my story. That's what I'm up to. And other than that, pretty much hibernated in the house except for a short trip this morning. Back to net control. This is KI8M.
All right, Gary. Gary's got one of them closed-faced spinning reels like the kids use. And of course, at the Larkston Park, we shoot fishing line way, way up in the tree. Sometimes even a seagull comes down, sorry. But, and then we tie a rope to that and pull the line over and get the antenna up, and before you know it, we're talking to somebody at least in Ohio. All right, WA1UTQ, we want to know about projects. We want to know about winter field day. Did you do any of that? Anything you want to talk about, Bruce, over to you.
Winter field day? Oh. Well, it's just lucky today we reached 82. Nice, and it's like a typical spring day like you guys have up in north in May. It's beautiful here. Monday, lowest temperature so far this year is 25. And boy, that was chilly. It was starting to struggle to get up to 40 degrees in the daytime with a little breeze to make it. Actually, our wind chill was actually in the teens, which we never have that cold. Luckily for our heating system is working great down here anyways. Crazy weather. But now we're back getting up to normal warmth. We stuck out like, let's see, 1 week from today, let's see, 1 week, 2 weeks from today, I used the ham convention and hamcation, we call it, it's just vacation anyways, here in Orlando, and looking forward to that. It starts on Thursday with the ARRL has their private convention. But you have to register to get into that one. But I got the tickets again. I'm not going that way. For Friday, Saturday is my day. Now, what do I'm up by? I have projects. And that's going to be interesting because you know ham radio is expensive. And so we'll see what happens when it comes up. We have set with our private our club suplex secrecy at UHF. And also one of our two members have an RV trailer. We call it the Chuck Wagon. So we get to eat for free. Eat peaceful, which is nice. We sausages, hot dogs, hamburgers, all kinds of trimming. So, matter of fact, I just got off of Zoom about 15 minutes ago, running board members. And we finally decided no more Zoom to other members that don't want to make it. We're back in person completely. We went last month anyways. And our in-person activities are picking up. The snowbirds are here, 100% of them. And something like 70,000 golf carts floating all over. The funniest thing, you talk about vehicle traffic, try golf cart rush hour. It is bad down here. I mean, you're behind a train of golf carts, and you call it rush hour. A lot of fun. So that's what's happening here. And so we'll get back at you. Chuck, thank you. Say good evening to everybody on in there. And matter of fact, this week, matter of fact, just list my this week, next week, we're putting up our 11th repeater, which is on the commercial grade 220. So it was supposed to be used for UPS at the time, but UPS never used this back in the late 80s, and we got all worked up, all fixed up, donated to us, to our group, and we're putting that up. So we'll see how that one plays. So, anyways, a lot of fun here. And I see a lot of hams that all over the country are here, chatting on the repeaters, so that'll be nice. So back to you. This is WNTQ here in North Central Florida.
All right there, Bruce. Very good. Well, you are the repeater king. You do have a lot of repeaters over there. And yeah, the snowbird's coming down. That's gotta put a lot of things to use. So very, very good. And any snowbird that's down there now, they're happy because we got some snow up here. Not really that cold, but we definitely got some snow. Alpha Charlie 8 to Zulu Delta. Dave, welcome. What about this winter field day? You make any contacts? Any projects going around the house? Been fooling around with anything? Over to you, Dave. Any today.
Oh, good evening, Chuck and everyone on the net. Yeah, there's always something going on around here. The desk is a mess and all that fun stuff. So I was looking forward to an FTM 300 arriving today, but, you know, UPS canceled. So I guess it's coming tomorrow. But other than that, my big project is clearing the snow this evening. So I'm going to probably go out there around 8:30 and clear what I've got over there, and then try to wrangle these kids to bed, help my wife out. But that's all I got right now. I'll tell more maybe on the 73 round. So back to you, ACZD.
All right there, Dave. Very, very good. Well, you're gonna have to take the kids sledding. You know, I don't know how old they are, but this is the perfect weather for that. Let me tell you. WBAD, who's not too old to go sledding, but will he? Well, welcome to the net, and over to you.
NHZA WBAD, good evening, one and all. Well, for those out of state, it's 19 degrees Fahrenheit and -7 Celsius. I did work a little bit of winter field day, CWN, gave out a few points here and there. Didn't really, my computer isn't set up for a turn in a log, so I just gave out points and enjoyed it, seeing where I could reach and hop around the country. Didn't put up with today's weather. My son came over a couple hours ago. One takes care of the grass, one takes care of the snow, so I don't have to move to a condo, and this works out very well. And since I got up early anyway today, I made a pot of beef vegetable noodle soup, about 10 quarts. Yeah, big pot of soup. It'll last us all week. Today was interesting. I was cruising on 12 meters. One signal out there was Suriname. That's in South America. And once again, that one signal happened to be DX. I couldn't reach them. He was working splits. When they work splits, I can copy their call when they're sending it, and it doesn't get jumbled up with people keying on them. So just to hear that far, the only one on the band was great. And on the news front today, the funniest thing I've seen in the news was at a Golden Corral in Pennsylvania, there was 40 people involved in a brawl. They had a video on it. Everybody has a cell phone nowadays. Fighting because they ran out of steak. Only in America. They're not fighting for food. They're fighting because the company ran out of it. I will be here for the second round. Back to Nets, WB80.
All right there, Walt. Well, you know, if you're going to fight about something, that's a good deal. Let's talk to Danny now, WATVO. I know he participated in Winter Field Day, gave it his best, made some contacts, and let's see if he's got some other things going around the house, any projects or whatever. Danny, welcome to the net.
Thank you there, Chuck. Just for those trying to get in the net with a hotspot, I am doing that at the moment with my handheld transceiver, FT3, and just be patient. Remember that you should give a little bit of keying delay before and after you talk with a hotspot. And I got another 2 inches of snow, so I'm up to about 5 or 6 inches that have fallen in my area, which is Harrison Township, Michigan, very close to the Lake St. Clair, so that's fine. As far as the food goes, geez, yesterday talked to Walt, Walt, in his soup. He got me all fired up about making a chicken soup. So got in my car. It was in the morning to go to Kroger. You out-of-staters, I don't know if you have Krogers in their area, but it's one of the big chains. And when I got there, the frozen chicken counters were empty, just empty, And then so since I was there, I was going to pick up, hold on. I felt since I made the trip, I was going to pick up some other items. When I went down the aisles, the aisle counters were just empty in the spots. The canned foods were all there, but everything else that was kind of essentials were just gone. So I don't know what the deal was there, but I was thinking when I was talking to Walt that the transportation was the problem there. They were probably couldn't get in to deliver the stock or deliver the stock too late for the stock people to put it on the shelves there. So that's about it. Oh yeah, Winter Field Day, had a good time. I got 10 contacts on 20 meters, 20 contacts on 40 meters, and lo and behold, I made a DX contact, Belize, Central America. Oh my goodness, I was really surprised because I didn't think they had any winners down in Belize. But I guess they do. It's just not the kind we get up here in Michigan. So everybody that checked in on that, 73 to you. I won't be around for the 73 go around because I'm running with a handheld over here. But you have a good evening and stay off those slippy roads there and stay out of automobile trouble there. You take it easy, everybody. I'm going to send it back to net control, W8TVO.
All right there, Danny. Thanks for checking in. Well, I can tell you, Danny, when I go to Myers at 7 in the morning, it's a ghost town. The day before the storm actually hit us, the place was jammed. It was even on the news. Everybody was buying everything they could because they thought we were going to, be buried for a week. And, we got probably less than half of what they said. So it wasn't a supply problem. It was everybody buying, 20 packs of everything. I couldn't believe it. I went to Kroger's, not Kroger's. I went to Myers like I normally do, usually a ghost town, and I'm like, what is everybody doing here? It was ridiculous. So that's how we are these days in a panic situation. K4PYA, Robert, what's going on? Have you heard about Winter Field Day? Did you participate in any of that? You got any projects going around the house? Pick up any kind of new equipment, old equipment, used equipment? Did you steal any equipment? Robert, we want to know. Over to you, NA Today.
This is K4PYA, and 7-3. Good evening to everyone on the net tonight. we've had about 7 inches of snow here in the Independence Township, Clarkston area. I did not participate in Winter Field Day, so no report there. I am studying for the extra class exam, and it's actually going to be given by the Whcop Club on February the 17th. So hopefully going to make that sitting of the exam and hopefully walk out of the exam with what I came for. I will mention, as I have several times before, that the Hazel Park Amateur Radio Club is there next week. Will be beginning the extra class course that they teach. It's Wednesday, 6 to 9 via Zoom, okay? If you are interested in upgrading, this is a great way to go. And if you'd like to know more about it, please contact me, K4PYA at arrl.net, and I will send you all the details. Projects that I've got going. Well, I've got an academic manuscript that is just about to be published. Worked on that for a year and turned it in here about 2 months ago, and the editors liked it, and so it's hopefully going to be published here in a couple of weeks. And I'm now turning my attention to writing what could be a book on the unit that I was with in Vietnam. Still thinking about that. That's a really big project, and I need some help. I don't know whether I can get the help or not. So anyhow, writing is one of the things I do on the side beside this ham radio business. So have been writing and thinking about doing some more. And that's pretty much the story here from Independence Township. So this is K4PYA, back over to N8ZA.
All right, very good there, Robert. Well, that sounds cool. That sounds very, very cool. That's a great thing there that you're doing. And, well, we wish you luck on that, finishing that up. What was that? Man, something just went boom over here. Hopefully it wasn't the ghost. Oh. All right. Let's move along to KK4JW. Let's see if we can get him in here. And I believe that's Joshua, I think. If you are, welcome to the net. Come say hello.
Well, good evening, Net Control, and the rest of the group, KK4JW. Josh in Kentucky, just kind of hanging out, listening in tonight. Don't really have a lot going on. We are in the middle of an ice storm here, or an impending ice storm rather. Precipitation hasn't turned over to freezing rain just yet, but the thermometer is dropping, so I suspect that will be soon. Hopefully we don't have any power outages. But nevertheless, I hope everybody's doing well, and everybody's staying warm, and hope everybody's enjoying the net. I'm enjoying listening in. Good evening, and 7-3 all, KK4JW.
All right there, Josh. Very good. Well, yeah, good luck on the ice storm there. Well, a lot of times we get ice storms like around March or April around here. Yeah, we can take all the snow and all that kind of stuff, but with the ice storms snapping off limbs, you start to lose power, and then you're in trouble. So wish you guys the best there. We're glad you checked in with us tonight, and hopefully you're around for the second go-around. W8LLZ, John, welcome. Over to you.
Hello, good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. We're just dealing with the snow over here. Luckily, I have a wife who goes out and does the snow for me. I do the cooking. She does the snow. I got a bad back, so I'm pretty blessed when it comes to that. Nothing really new and exciting going on, no projects. Haven't really gone anywhere. I pretty much hibernate. The only new equipment I've gotten this week was nothing to do with ham radio, but something to do with cooking. We've resisted the urge to buy an air fryer, and over the last couple of years we've talked about it, and we finally did get one. And last week, 5-6 days ago. Yeah, and love this thing. I think we've used it every day, and sometimes 2 or 3 times in a day. So, but nothing exciting. I don't know if how many of you guys cook or like to cook, but like I say, we've used it every day and really enjoying it. Nothing too monumental. Anyways, wish everybody a good evening, and back to you, Net Control.
All right there, John, not a problem. Well, you know, our local club name here is USECA, and that's the Utica Shelby Emergency Communications Association, also known as, what is it? Can't remember now. Utica, what's that other one we got? Doggone it. Well, what's the other phrase we got about eating, camping, and something? Walt, do you remember?
U.S. Eating and Camping Association.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, it's all about eating, John. It's always about eating. And great on the air fryer there. I wish I could think of the one we got. So sometimes I'll put stuff in the microwave. The microwave. Get it where it's warmed up just right. Then I'll throw it in the air fryer to kind of crunch it up a bit. But man, the things you can make at that, they're a little bit faster. I use one every day. I had the little one, little tiny one with a little basket. This is the more bigger one like the microwave. And I'll tell you what, they are awesome. All right, K8PDJ, if I got that right, Dorian, welcome to the net, and over to you.
Well, hello everyone. This is K8PDJ. Great net tonight. Lots of good subjects. I just got a used FT70D I've been working on. Have to program that, so that's been a lot of fun. As far as home projects go, seems like there's one on every floor of the house. There's always something to do, so that'll keep me busy. Nothing on field day. Did not do field day. As far as steaks go, my favorite way to cook steak is a reverse sear. If you Google that, a reverse sear, it's kind of like I love no-miss recipes. You just nail it every time. So reverse sear for that. We was for thing here. Yeah. The guy who got the FTM 300. I was curious to see if you were going to use that for a mobile or a base station. And also K4PYA. Very interested in the Vietnam book. It's a fascinating part of our history, of course. I was able to visit that country in, I believe it was 1999, but very interesting. You should write it. Just go ahead and do it. I will be around for the 73 round, and back to net.
All right, very good. So reverse searing, huh? I'm going to have to look what that's all about, read how that is all done. Maybe you'll tell us on the second go around there. But, yeah, I tell you what, wintertime, if I can get out to the barbecue, which doesn't take much to do that, and, we don't have steak that often, but we did this time, and man, it came out really good. I even surprised myself. I was, for a while, I looked up in the sky for a bright light. I thought it was my time. Anyway, do we have any other check-ins? All are welcome. This is NA Today with the USECA Zombie Alert Fusion Net. Take your time checking in. Call sign and name slowly. Sierra Romeo, Quebec, Tony in East Pointe.
Kilo Tango 7, Tango Tango, Mark in Arizona.
8, Mike Juliet, Richmond.
W8 COP, Chris in Ocala, Florida.
November 8th, Alpha, Quebec, Brenda in Roseville.
W8SOX.
All right, let's run with that pack. We got KDSRQ, KT7 Tango Mark, KC8HMJ, W8COP, N8ALQ Brenda, and W8SOX. Let's see if Mark might be a short timer, so let's get him in here now. Mark, we're talking about Winterfield Day. Did you do any of that? Any new projects going on? Any new equipment? Any old equipment? What trouble are you getting into, Mark? Over to you.
Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net from Mark, KT7TTs, Mesa, Arizona. And where we're going through our version of winter. It only went to 58 degrees today, and last night it went down to 30 degrees. So that's darn near as bad as it gets here. So makes me glad I'm not back in Michigan right now. Anyway, we did a little bit on field day. I stayed home. The guys from the club went up into the mountains, and I know the place they went to. I used to work up there in the mines, and that was too darn cold for me. So I stayed home and just gave out a few contacts to people. But other than that, that was about it. But since then, boy, the bands have really opened up. There's been DX all over the place, so I'm enjoying using the higher frequencies on that. And as far as new equipment, I bought a brand new but used Kenwood TH6 handy talkie. It's a tri-bander, 2 meter, 220, and 70 centimeter. And I spent most of today just doing some programming and stuff on it. And boy, I'll tell you, what they can pack into a little tiny radio is just unbelievable. There's probably stuff I'll never even use, and I've been going through the book, and every time I look at another page, there's something else that's new. So anyway, that's about it here. I'll be here for the second round, no problem on that. So anyway, good to hear everybody over there. Hope you get through your cold snap. 'Cause I'll tell you, 19 degrees is the coldest we've ever had it out here, and that's been like 2 or 3 times in the last 40 years. So, and that's the way I like it. Just enough to remember what it was like in Michigan, and makes me appreciate being out here. Back to you, Chuck. N8ZA from KT7TT.
All right there, Mark. Good to have you checking in. I didn't know if you were short time or not, so we wanted to make sure we got you in there. I think it was last week or maybe before that, we had a real cold snap of weather come in. I think when I was north of here by about 30 miles or so, it was like a -3 on the car. That was chilly. Chilly. Well, let's get up to KDSRQ. Tony, welcome to the net, and over to you.
N8ZA in the group. This is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Romeo, Quebec. Thank you, Chuck, for taking the net. This is my first time into the net. So, which means I'm using the FT991A. So I'm very happy I can be in the net tonight. Winterfield Day. I had the chance to stay home and on and off, and I got 23 contacts. I got Connecticut. I never talked to Connecticut. I got one of those. I talked to Florida, a bunch of Pennsylvanias, a bunch of Ohio's, 3 or 4 New Yorkers, you know. And I got a VE3 too. And I've got an East Pointer and a Lance, and I got somebody using the Lance Cruise Club call. But the East Pointer, believe it or not, is the guy who lives a mile and a half away from me, W1IK. New projects. I built a little battery box to take to the park. I bought a new 2 meter, 77 meter base antenna, which ain't going up until it gets a lot warmer. Don't even think about it. It ain't going up. I'm talking off the old one right now. And I got another one still in the works. When I get it, then I'll tell you all about it. I bought new coax for that antenna too. So, Hopefully I sound a little bit better on the 2 meter side there. I will not be around for the second go around because I got chores to do, and yeah, it's been cold. I've used the snowblower 3 times over the last 2 days, but my house looking good. I'll probably have to do it first thing in the morning tomorrow too. So, and it's cold. So, stay warm, stay safe, and I wish everyone good health in 73. NA today. This is Kilo Delta 80 Romeo, Quebec. Back to you.
All right there, Tony. Well, you sound great, and we're glad you checked into the net this evening. Yeah, you don't want to be up on no roof or anything when it's cold like this and snow on the roof and ice and everything else. So it's going to warm up eventually, so you'll get your time. Well, let's talk to KC8HMJ, Rich. We were talking about winter field days. Did you make any contacts? Did you buy any new radios? Any old radios? Any projects at home? Just want to know what's going on there, Rich. Over to you.
Well, the closest thing I've done to a project, KC8HMJ, here at home lately was I replaced the storm door. Of course, I wanted to wait till spring, and the storm door said, nah, you don't get to wait till spring. Kind of funny, I got one from Menards, and it doesn't come left and right like they usually do. It comes left and right depending where you decide to put the hinge on and the latch and everything. You have to put the holes into the latch and stuff. It worked out pretty well, so that's a project. Oh, the other one is trying to get some stuff together to sell at the Livonia Swamp. I do have an antenna to put up, and I don't usually put antennas up till there's 10 inches of snow on the ground, so it didn't happen, so I didn't get to put my antenna up. And Winterfield Day, closest I did anything was I made 2 contacts on each of 4 bands, and I did talk to Hawaii on 20. I don't remember ever talking to Hawaii before, but anyway. So that's about it there, Charles. KC8HMJ.
All right there, Rich. Now, did you participate? I think it happened already, but maybe not. You do that snow drift stuff, don't you? Over to you.
Well, I have in the past. It's just really hard to leave Dog with Linda for a long time because Dog's such a handful, especially during the night. Because I get up, she gets me up during the night, and I go out with her because she's so energetic. She eats a lot, so then she has to go out for that. So that's kind of curtailed that. Plus, I'd done it with Scott McDowell a few times, and he's out of the state right now, so I didn't do either sun-off snow or snowdrift either one. Well, actually, snowdrift either one's in February, or this month, but I think it's not this coming weekend. I think it's the following weekend. They did contact me, hoping I'd help them, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But thanks for asking. It was very great fun, and we all know I enjoy driving in the snow. I'm very disappointed on what we got. I figured they'd be wrong on their prediction, so yay. 14 would have been sweet. All right, thanks, Charles. Thanks. Back to you, KC8HMJ.
All right there, Rich. Well, it looks like a lot of fun just flying through the woods in your automobile and whatever road course through the different trails and this and that. Looks like a lot of fun. All right, next on my list is W8COP. Let's talk to Chris right now. I think he's still in Florida, I think you said, Chris. And what about Tip-Up Town? Is that still going on? I haven't heard any talk. I think it's usually in January. Is that still going on? How's that going? Any news about that, Chris? Over to you.
N8ZA in the group from W8COP. Good evening, Chuck, and hello to everyone on the net. And, yeah, you're right, Chuck. I am still in Florida till probably till the first part of May. And to answer your question, yes. I think Tip-Up Town was the past 2 weekends. I saw a few posts on social media, and then I talked to some of the guys back home, and I guess it was a pretty busy weekend for law enforcement, the 2 weekends of Tip-Up Town, as you can imagine. So, yep, it's still going strong, and with the cold weather they've had up there, I'm sure that they had a lot of good ice for that event. Down here in Florida, we finally warmed back up. We had some really cold weather, coldest weather in, I guess, about 4 years, they said. We got down to 20 degrees last weekend, and we had to trickle the faucets outside because it didn't want things to freeze up. But we made it through okay. And no real radio projects down here. I'm like most of the guys. I like to put my antennas up when there's a lot of snow, so it's going to be a long, long wait before I get any antennas up down here. But did not do anything for Winter Field Day. We actually replaced part of the floor and a toilet in one of the bathrooms here. So that was our weekend for fun. So with that, Chuck, thanks for doing the net. Great job as always. And let me send it back to you. N8ZA from W8COP.
All right there, Chris. Very good. And, yeah, again, of course, Winter Field Day, not Winter Field Day, but Tip-Up Town, by the way, is in northern Michigan, and it's like a big old winter carnival. The beer is flowing. People are skiing over in the water holes and catching walleye and all kinds of stuff. But, Chris, before you go, I remember back in the day, because I haven't kept abreast of this, they used to do a thing where they hid, was it a medallion or they hid something? Was it every day in the paper or every something they would give a clue where this was, and it was kind of like a scavenger hunt. I think that was done during Tip-Up Town. Do they still do that, Chris? Over to you.
You know, Chuck, that's a good question. I'm not familiar enough with the event any longer to know if they still do that. So maybe somebody else in the group will have some knowledge of that. But I cannot help you there. Sorry. W8COP.
All right there, Chris. Yeah, that's quite a ways back I'm talking. But the last time I was there was when I think the winter wasn't quite a winter, and everybody was falling through the ice with their cars. Not a good time. All right, next on the list is Brenda, November 8th, Alpha Kilo, for Quebec. Brenda, what's going on? New projects, new radios, old radios, just anything going on in the house we want to know. Brenda, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck. Thanks for doing the net. Yeah, not a whole lot going on here. I've been going to switch out my radio in the car. I brought in my 8900 and was going to put the FT100 in there, but now I see the microphone is attached to the body. Doesn't attach to the removable faceplate. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. And so I'm just on my little HT here. I got an adapter on it so I can hook it up to my 2-meter antenna outside. So hopefully I'm coming in good. Back to you, Chuck.
All right there, Brenda. Well, you sound just fantastic. So no worries there, no worries. Well, Larry's next, W8SOX, along with, of course, Walt WV8 host, or NCOs of this net. So, Larry, you've heard the topic for tonight's net, and welcome, and over to you.
Well, good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net there. Oh, boy, new projects. I've been resurfacing the driveway all day today. I'll tell you, it keeps building up on me, and I don't know why. But hopefully we'll get this straightened away. I think I got one more round of resurfacing to do, and we'll be done, I hope. So, anyways, let's see what else. Not much in the way of projects. Been busy with a lot of other things going on. Riding back and forth to Mom and Dad's and doing all sorts of other things that have been grabbing my attention more than anything with ham radio. So, but I did work Winter Field Day last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I wish I could have operated a little bit more, but again, other events during the day got my attention. So
but I was able to pretty much take care of Saturday night and pretty much from early Sunday morning all the way to the end of the contest, I believe at 2 o'clock. So I pretty much located Sunday to just do that. So, and that was good because I hadn't played radio like that in a while. So, and I needed that. So, it was great to make all the contacts I did. Fans were quite cooperative. So, but other than that, Chuck, that's about it from here. With that, back to you. NHZA W8SOX.
All right there, Larry, and we thank you for all you do. Matter of fact, before the storm hit, Larry was offering a free snow shoveling class Wednesday and Thursday, during the storm. It was going to be held in his driveway, a free snow shoveling class. I almost went, but I was there for his free day of how to do laundry. Never got to do my laundry, so we skipped it. But thank you, Larry. We appreciate what you do. All right. Do we have any other check-ins? All are welcome. Take your time. I just need your call sign and your name slowly. This is NA Today.
Victor Kilo 4, Mike Sierra, it's Mel in Australia. Good evening, Chuck, and all those.
All right there, Mel. Hopefully you are doing well today. I guess you might have heard our topics. We're kind of curious what kind of projects you got going on. Any new radios, old radios, whatever. We want to know what's going on. And I know you were doing all that surveying a few weeks back, and I wonder how that all turned out for you. Are you an expert surveyor now? We want to know. Over to you, Mel. That ain't today.
VK4 Mike Sierra Mel returning. Am I a surveyor? By jolly gosh, I wish I'd never ever seen a bloody compass in my life. Crikey, this has been a task. Anyway, but it's what do they call it? A project of love. I'm only too happy to do it on behalf of the North Queensland Motorsport people who, how would you put it? They are the controlling body for some 3 square miles. I'll use your measurements, make it a bit easier. They've got about 3 square miles of area that they can now run tracks through. Previous to that, they only had about, just over 2. Now it's been extended, and that's what we're surveying. I'm not doing the survey work. Crikey. No, not me. No, I'm just plotting the courses from what the surveyors say, because it's very rough country. There's no bitumen tracks. They're all dirt tracks. And it's very rough country. The scrub's so thick in places a dog can't even hear herself barking it. And the blokes driving the big machinery to put the new fence lines in have got no idea where they're going. The survey markers from the official surveyors, although they're plotted on paper, they are just numbers that don't make any sense to anybody. So I took on the job of deciphering all their squiggles and finding out what length of measure they used as a unit, because it could be anything from chains. I don't know whether you have the chain measurements in America for measuring land, but chains, rods, there's a whole heap of those old English ones. And then there's yards, feet, and inches, and then there's meters and centimeters and whatever. So that has been my job, and I'll just buy a bit of time here. Good evening, Walt. So that's been my job, doing all those conversions and then using Google Earth to plot those measurements on Google Earth and not just put the numbers there with push pins and whatever, but actually drawing lines in contrasting colors so that machinery operators can get a good idea of where they got to go and how they got to get there. So yeah, and it's just about all finished. And what I'm well, it's not all finished, but what I've finished is about 2.5 miles of fence that has to be upgraded. Well, a new fence put in and older fence upgraded, all in that distance, because we've got foot traffic coming in from a block next door, wondering what all the noise is when all the races are on, and they find that the racetracks make good walking paths. And some of these tracks have buggy speeds of up to nearly 200 kilometers an hour. So 100 kilometers an hour is about 62 mile an hour. So that's 120 odd miles an hour, and these blokes aren't looking for pedestrians. Oh dear, you wouldn't be dead for quits. But yeah, that's what we're doing, and what I'm doing now. And I've had to use 3 separate computers to do this. My laptop for out in the field, and a desk and 2 desktops. Long boring story, we won't go into that. And what I'm doing now is making sure that all 3 computers tell the same lies, the same data. So yeah, but it's all over Red Rover, and the next job will be later on in the year when we'll plot the old existing fence line, which is on a public highway, and we suffer the same problems. People getting through the old fence and creating problems on the track. So that's what's happening here. Thanks everyone for their time and effort, and I'll endeavour to be a bit more on time in the future, because I'm not travelling around the countryside so much. Back to you there, Net Control. Chuck it is, and N8ZA, this is VK4 Mike Sierra, Charter Towers, and good evening to the new chappie that called in. Take it away there, Chuck.
All right, there, Mel. Always glad to have you checking in, and we hopefully Walt has not been bothering you too much. You know, ever since I told Walt, like right now, I guess most of you guys don't realize, Mel, he's like a time traveler. It is Friday. It's Friday where Mel's at right now. So if you want to know what happens Friday, you have to ask Mel. He's already been there. It's already Friday there. Wrap that around your noodle, huh? All right. Do we have any other check-ins? Call, sign, and name slowly, please.
November 8th, Hotel Uniform Bravo, Andy.
All right, Andy, good to have you. N8HUB from the west side of Michigan there. Hopefully all is well there, Andy. And we're talking about, you know, any new radios, old radios, any projects around the house, whether it's amateur radio or not. Some of us are talking about cooking steaks and how we cook them. Anything's on the table there. And, of course, because you are on the west side of the state, and we were talking about this big, huge snowstorm that was going to bury us, we want to know, over here I only got about 6 inches of snow, so really nothing. But we want to know what happened on the west side of the state there. Andy, over to you. N8 today.
Okay, Chuck, I say good evening to you and the rest of the group there. Oh, yeah, they made it sound like it was be pretty bad. We ended up getting about a ½ inch, and then that afternoon a little bit of a dusting, a little bit of a rain, so not much of anything really. So, and a little dusting there, I just real light snowing and just knock off your vehicle with your hand, you know. It's real light and fluffy, so we didn't get none of that hard stuff. I'm glad we didn't. It's going to be a cold one here tonight. Could get down to 2 degrees tonight. It's about 19 right now. The wind kicks up. It's going to get chilly. And we'll see what happens. But next week is supposed to warm up in the mid-30s, Tuesday till about Saturday, I guess. So kind of looking forward to that. Other than that, just staying hunkered down, staying out of the cold. Back to you, NA2B.
All right, there, Andy. Very good. Yeah, we were supposed to get like, I don't know, 13 to 16 inches, you know. A friend of mine posted that the base salary of a meteorologist ranges from like 78,800 and something to 126,000. So can you imagine having a job where you don't have to be accurate? just make a guess and hope that you're right, you know? Wouldn't that be nice? It's like, well, we thought that's what was wrong with your heart, but oops-a-daisy. I mean, just isn't that I should have been a meteorologist. I could just stick my head out the window and be more accurate than these guys. All right, any other check-ins? Call, sign a name, please. Alrighty then, let's run back up the top. We'll make a Michigan U-turn and get back up to the top of the page. W1IK was actually got his grill fired up, something he found on the side of the road. It was fresh, it still was twitching. Let's find out how it turned out. Jim, W1IK, right now he's putting his beer down and putting the salad fork down. I know a salad. Can you imagine a ham radio operator eating salad? W1IK, welcome to the net and over to you.
Oh gosh, it's always fun to check into a Chuck run net because he says things like that. Well, your timing is perfect. Just finished dinner. Was listening to the net throughout and hearing everybody's comments. It's always great to check into this net because people come in from all over the planet, literally, and we get all kinds of different perspectives, and that's a good thing. Well, because I kept it so short on the first go round, I'm going to wear you all out on this one. Not really. The cast iron seared center cut pork loin chop was delicious, as was the bed of wild rices on which it was served and garnished with fresh carrot, broccoli, and cauliflower. It was just all delicious, just great. I didn't do it on the grill outside. Too cold and nasty out there. I've known to, but I thought I could just do it right on the stovetop in my little 7.5-inch cast iron skillet. I've got a 13-inch and a 7.5-inch, and I use the 7.5 because it's doing this one little chunk of meat. And man, I got to tell you, you got to be careful because that little sucker gets hot. It got so hot it burned through my oven mitt. The handle burned through my oven mitt. I went to take the thing off the heat and burn my hand. Yeah, it was hot. But I'll tell you what, you want to sear something off? Bingo. That's how you do it. Anyway, worked out great. Taste wonderful. You can find photos of the meal in question on my Facebook page. So check it out. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Winterfield Day, absolutely. I'll break for time. Well, I kind of had the wind knocked out of me on Friday. I was getting ready to head up to Lexington, Michigan, where the Whcop group had committed to doing our location remote field day operation again this year, and I look forward to it every year because I typically can't make regular field day due to work restrictions. So really look forward to getting together with my buddies face to face and trudging through the snow and yanking up antennas and complaining about that's not how you do it and all that kind of stuff, sitting around the fireplace for meals and things like that. It's always a great time, and we get the camaraderie and friendly competition to see who can beat the other's scores and stuff like that, all for the club operation. This year, it just kind of fell apart at the last second, and thank you, Chuck, for letting me know before I got out there. But I would have been the only one on site. Everybody had made their apologies previous, and I didn't realize it, and I was all gung-ho to go, but ended up staying home and operating here. It was fun, but not the same. My score, my raw score, without having gone back and checked my paper log with my computer log to tighten things up, my computer says 5,640 points for operating one hotel. And I was on commercial mains, so I didn't get an alternate power multiplier, but I got every other stinking multiplier except for QRP. I was running 100 watts, but I got everything else. Boy, I made phone contacts and CW contacts on every contest band. I didn't make any digital. That for me just has no attraction. I could have picked up another multiplier or two, I suppose, if I wanted to mess with it, but I was all set up for phone and CW, primarily CW because they earn twice as many points, and because that's my mode, and made lots and lots. I got 5 pages of double column QSOs on there. I don't know what the number QSO count is. I don't know. I haven't done the breakdown per band. But all that data is in the log. All that data is in and will be submitted, and I'll be contributing all of that to the USICA aggregate club score, as will many of us who operated Winter Field Day this year from home. Anyway, new equipment, new AM radio stuff. Today, I spent quite a bit of time, more than I should have, getting DroidStar on my phone to connect to DMR. I've already used it here on Yaesu System Fusion, and it's okay. Sounds pretty funky, but I actually made a DMR contact. The reason I went through all the trouble is because the amateur radio RV ham people, RVers, ham RVers, hang out on a particular talk group on DMR, or so I've been told. So I wanted to make certain I could connect to that, and I did. And I talked to a guy on that talk group, and he said, oh, yeah, there's a lot of RVers out here. I'm not in my RV right now, but blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he was in California and so forth. So I verified that I get it working and verified that, yep, that's the right place and so forth. There is going to be regularly scheduled Thursday night ham radio RVers digital voice net on the QuadNet array tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And the QuadNet array, you can connect to it a number of different ways, but one of the easiest and most reliable ways is use Link, and that is just look for the SE Link conference node. SELINK Southeast Link out of Lookout Mountain, Georgia. They link all kinds of repeaters. They link PiStar. They link DMR. They link Yaesu System Fusion, all through the Southeast Link conference server node and Echolink and all that stuff, so people check in from all over the planet on that. And that is open to anybody, but it's primarily RVers who are hams that would talk about ham and RV stuff every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's what I know about these things. We'll send it back to Net Control and wish everyone a good evening. NHZA and the Net, this is Whiskey 1 India Kilo Jim in East Pointe, Michigan.
All right there, Jim. Very good. Well, I think through PiStar you can use your Fusion radio to do DMR. If they're using UHF, let me know, because I do have, I believe, a DMR radio hanging around here doing nothing, and you're welcome to use it for as long as you want. So just think about that. KI8M, Gary, welcome to the net.
All right, NHZA in a group. This is KI8M. Well, I was listening to people talk about cooking food. I heard about your story, Chuck. Then I heard about the reverse sear, and I had to look that up. And then Jim, of course, was talking about the cooking the pork loin chop, etc. And it's a good thing I ate not too long ago. Otherwise, I'd be just ripping through the refrigerator and probably tearing open the patio door to get at the barbecue. But since the stomach has been well fed, that won't happen this evening. Very good, Mel, too, on your comments about the track. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to take a look at that and see if I can look up your club and see if there's any pictures showing a work in progress. You also commented a few weeks back about that weed, I think, that originally came from China. And I was just wondering if that was giving you folks a hard time. Imagine you probably need to clear that out in the way of your proposed trails. Other than that, I've got nothing really else to add to the net this evening. Very enjoyable listening to everybody tonight and what's going on in their lives. So we'll throw it back to Net Control. We'll say 7-3, but we will listen out. This is KI8M.
All right there, Gary. Very, very good. Thanks for being in there. Yeah, we got a lot of good people out here, and I don't know how active the repeaters are in all your neighborhoods, but not as active as they used to be. So there are some people that are active, and those are those people that checked in tonight that creates interest throughout the different places they live and contribute to this net with what's going on. So God bless everybody. WA1UTQ, Bruce, over to you.
Okay, man, a lot of good stories out there. That's great. Something one W1IK is pretty good. Yeah, I had the George Star for about days when they started beta testing it. And I think in September when I was in Disney World, Zabi alert system was on YSF Fusion. I was talking from my resort room. And, well, actually, it was at Epcot when I talked to you guys. Hey, listening, I tell you, that's a wonderful thing to have on your phone. You don't have to need open spot. There's more stuff on here than you ever need. And, of course, you know, the new service is M17, which is Motorola 17, which is might be replacing DMR and P25, and I don't know how they're going to do that. That's way down the line. But anyways, I've been using it quite a bit, and as you go out, I don't have to look for high on my phone's out. But anyways, it works out well. Yeah, 1:13 this afternoon, and those were on top of my TV screen, and it says, there's the star. So what is it called? I forget the name of these. So, anyways, the Starlink satellites were up. So I'm trying to forget the name of it, Elon Musk's system. But I went outside, 100 miles away, you could see it going up in the sky. Nice clear day. And see this smoke trail.
and the blue flame behind it is set up another set of satellites, Starlink satellites. And I guess it was a good day for it to look at it. And also on Ham Nation last night for almost a good hour with Gordon West and also Randy Hall, they were talking about their Quartz Fest, a 7-day event. Yeah, I'd like to go out one of those. That's fun. Yeah, have a good time out there. We all with RV trailers and be able to make contacts and stuff like that. It's very interesting. That's the Quartz Fest out in, I think it's out in Arizona somewhere in the desert. Anyways, so what's left here? Just a couple weeks ago we had a Silent Key, one of our hams, and our crack repeater team, which was running by 2 other people. Finally picked up some radios from him. His wife gave us donate radios to us. Now that's a project right there. We're going to work on the radios and see what's good, and see what happens. And probably our club, if it's well set working, what we don't need, we'll put on the silent auction for our club to more money. So that's really fun. So that's a good project before the convention. And I'll let you guys know what's new for the convention. They oversold everything, including the 250 RVs with connections. Sold. That means they're sold out. And the tech is 3 generators outside, not counting in one of the big buildings. So we have 3 buildings out there, and all the vendors are still getting turned. We have a lot of vendors now for both buildings, but there's quite a few being turned away because we have sold out. I guess this is really going to be interesting in Orlando, so I'm going to do it for 2 days. Okay, Chuck, everybody, 73s all have a good week. And by the way, this is WTQ here in a nice, pleasant 72 degrees here in North Central Florida, here in the villages.
All right there, Bruce. We really like the idea that you told us the weather. Very good. Be safe out there. Watch out for that other guy in that golf cart. Alpha Charlie 8 Zulu Delta, if you're still hanging around there, Dave. Get your 7 trees in. Over to you.
Alrighty. Well, I will tell about my winter's field day. Let's see. So I want to answer the question about the FTM 300 that was asked. The reason I'm planning on using that for a base radio, but I may use it mobile occasionally. But we only have 1 car, so it would be going in and out of the car. But the reason why I chose that one over the 400 was that it has a faceplate that attaches to the actual radio. So you can attach the faceplate to the radio, or you can use it as a remote, console head or whatever it's called. As far as winter field day, I made about 26 contacts, and I was operating QRP battery power. I did mostly JSA call, since FT8 wasn't allowed, and JSA call worked pretty well. I was surprised. You could do the exchange, and then I did a little bit of PSK31, and of course I mixed in some voice modes in there too. So my highlight for that one was I was able to talk to Colorado on 20 meters on Sunday morning on 10 watts. So I was surprised. But as far as like the digital modes, I know Jim was talking about the doing the DMR. If you have a PiStar hotspot, you can set it up for YSF to DMR. There's some instructions out there. You have to go dig for them, but you can do it. And as far as DroidStar, that's what you see those recordings on Facebook. That's what I'm using. I've got a little USB dongle that does the vocode decoding, and so. That was it. But anyways, I don't want to time out. So 73s, everyone, and back to net. AC8ZD.
All right there, Dave. Yeah, that'll be a great question sometime about mobile radios in the car, because, gas is so expensive these days. Not very many people are roaming around, only maybe during drive time. And by then they're zoning out to their favorite Captain and Tennille song. So, is it worth it having a mobile radio in your car? How much are you in your car? Something always to think about. Thank you, Dave, for being there. Let's talk to Walt now. WBAD, over to you.
Getting today, WB80. Well, let's talk of HF. Like I said, I didn't get to it today, and on purpose. Take a day off, and I'm going to hit it tomorrow morning when I get up early and see what I can do, and I enjoy it. Mel, if you're listening, I was watching a fascinating documentary about Harry Breaker Morant. Breaker Morant, who spent time in Queensland and around your town over 100 years ago. Quite fascinating documentary. I love documentaries, by the way. When I do watch television, public television for the documentaries, which they had Chuck Berry on the other day on public TV. Oh, I love Chuck Berry. Oh, man. And another documentary concerning the January 6th affair. So, documentaries are my forte, but Harry Breaker Morant. Very fascinating how people get stuck to it in our lifetime. Anyway, other than that, everybody have a great day, and catch up with you as we go along. WB80, stay safe.
All right there. Well, very good. Thanks for checking in with us. And, yeah, Chuck Berry, very good. So, very good documentary. And they always, PBS, I think that's where you said you were watching it. There's a lot of good stuff on there. All right, next on my list is K4PYA. Mr. Robert, welcome to the net once again. Get your 73s in. Over to you. All right, Robert is gone. Let's see if Josh is still hanging in there. KK4JW. Josh, if you're there, welcome, and over to you. All righty. Maybe we only need to do one go around these days. Everybody seems to have a different thing in the oven. Okay, W8LLZ, John, welcome, and over to you. Well, this is working out pretty good. I got Pop-Tarts in the poster, so this is working out great. K8PDJ. Dorian, are you there? Get your 7-3s in. This is N8 Today.
Yeah, this is K8PDJ. I am still here. I'm going to be quick. I'm going to have to go out and do a round of shoveling here. So, yeah, 73 to everybody, and I plan on being here next week. It was a very enjoyable net, and thank you for hosting, Chuck. Back to you.
All right, fantastic. I believe Walt will be running the net next week, maybe. He said his topic's going to be about Kentucky Fried Chicken. Regular or extra crispy? Let's see. KT7 Tango Tango. Mark, welcome. If you're there, over to you. Man, cinnamon Pop-Tarts. I can smell them already. KC8HMJ. Over to you, Rich. All right. definitely cinnamon. I think I heard him pop. W8COP, Chris, for God's sake, save me, Chris. You're in warm, comfortable Florida. Put the martini down. Get your 7-3s in. Over to you. Well, I cannot believe Chris let me down. I had such faith in him. You know, he's kind of a hero to me. November 8 Alpha, Quebec. Brenda. Are you hanging in there, Brenda? Did we put you to sleep, too? Welcome, and over to you. Well, I'll be dipped. I cannot believe this. W8SOX. I should just even skip Larry. But I'll give it a try. Larry, put the bagel down. Over to you.
All right, Chuck, I'm still here. Thanks for picking up the net. And, oh boy, I can't believe that many people checked that on the second go-round. But, it is what it is. They're probably out shoveling the driveway themselves. I just came in, although I've been listening to the whole thing while I was outside. So, thank God for losing success the FE3. Anyway, Chuck, thanks for doing it, and look forward to hearing it next week. With that, 73 left.
All right there, Larry. Well, I'm glad you got to listen to some of the net while you were shoveling the snow. He shovels stuff really good, you know. VK4MSS. Mal is in there. He always supports the net. He doesn't disappear. He is a ham's ham. Not like a ham's bologna ham. He's a ham's ham. Mal, over to you.
This is VK4MSS returning. Well, crikey, have I been put on the spot here a little bit. I'll be pretty well as brief as I possibly can here. Cooking steak. Well, that's a good thing. Everyone likes a bit of steak, unless you're a vegan, and then I won't like you at all. But cooking steak, we have a bit of a saying here in Australia. It's a bit rough, but it'll get through all right. And that is, and this phrase, I'm going to give you a little phrase, and it's a phrase that's used mainly by the older bushman type fellows and blokes who are knockabouts, and generally on the more rough side of life. And if they're anywhere where a steak is being cooked for them, and somebody happens to ask, "How would you like your steak?" Well, here you go, fellas. A classic, very standard reply is lop its horns, wipe its ass, and serve it. There you go. That's how a lot of steak is eaten here in this country. For the gentleman that was interested in the goings-on out at the the North Queensland Motorsport facility at Milchester, here in Charters Towers. If anyone wants some really good information about what's going on out there, grab my email address from qrz.com and I will send you some data. It's a bit much to go into on air here, so if you're interested in anything, it doesn't matter what it is. I've got a lot of stuff here, and I can enclose a couple of pictures or whatever on an email and send them back, and you can get some idea what's happening. But one of the things that is that ties me in a little bit more, other than orienteering, which I like quite a fair bit, is that I'm involved with the Townsville Amateur Radio Club. And the Townsville Amateur Radio Club does a big job in assisting on all the organised events out at the Milchester Motorsport facility. So I got a foot in both camps, so I help them all out with that sort of stuff. I'll draw a breath in. I'll do one here now for Walt. I'll be as short as I can. Stand by. Back again. Walt was mentioning a fellow known colloquially as the Breaker. His name was Harold Morant. And he made his living by breaking horses and working stock and all that sort of stuff. Now, Harry Morant, that was not his name. He stole that name from another person because he was in strife with the law and they were getting hot on his collar, so he took somebody else's name and used that. And he was an excellent horseman. And the other end of his life was he joined the army for the Boer War. Now, I don't know whether you fellas in America know much about the Boer War. Boer was B-O-E-R, and the Boers were actually Dutchmen who had big land holdings in South Africa. And the Poms got into strife with them, and naturally they called on the Australians to get them out. And Harry Morant was one of them. And Lord Kitchener, a Pommy high-ranking army officer, sent Harry out with 5 other men and said, "You got to go out and clean up that bunch of Boers out there. Take no prisoners." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Harry went out and took no prisoners. He killed the lot. And then Lord Kitchener got into strife for that, so he immediately blamed Breaker Morant, and Breaker Morant was murdered by the British Army for doing what he was told. Lovely stuff, isn't it? And Harry married a girl called Daisy Bates, which wasn't her real name either. She was a Pommy Shearer that was married before she came to Australia, and she married another bloke, popped the kid out to him and thought, well, I really don't like this game very much, so she disappeared again. That was down in Brisbane, the capital city of Queensland. She came up the north and up to Charters Towers, where she met the Breaker, Harry Morant, and they got married. They both told each other a stack of lies about each other. And yeah, well, the trail goes a bit cold about there. The Breaker went to South Africa, got killed. Daisy Bates went to, after being married 6 times and not ever divorcing anyone in front of them, and then she went to Eyre Peninsula in South Australia, and she lived the life of a spinster over there with the Aboriginals. I hope you took note. There will be questions. Send me an email, anyone. Over to you there, Net Control. N8ZA, VK4MSS, lovely net.
All right there, Mel. Well, that's a good story. I'm going to have to look that information up. That is very interesting. Very interesting. All right. N8HUB, Andy's holding down the fort at the end here. Welcome, Andy, and over to you.
Okay, Chuck, real good. I'll say good evening to everyone, and you doing a good net. I look for well, next week, fried chicken. That's a good topic. But we'll see what happens there. Just want to say good evening. You mentioned about our net Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. To connect. Use that number, the open spot. Look for your check. Hey, have everybody. 8HUB, Grand.
All right, there, Andy. Very good. We lost a little bit of you there, but you popped back in. We wish you the best over on that side of the state from this side of the state. And we're looking if there's any more check-ins. There's still time. This is N8 Today.
Just a recheck. This is KIM.
All right there, Gary. Go ahead with your recheck.
All right, thank you, Chuck. And Mal, if you're still listening, I Googled that Breaker Morant, and it's interesting. I thought I remembered there was a movie that came out in 1980. Now, how close to the truth the movie is, who knows? But I'll do a little bit of research on it and some more checking. And thanks for the tidbit on North Queensland Motorsports. I took a look at that as well. So I think there's some information there. And we'll do some follow-up, and perhaps I can throw a question at you through the internet. So we'll see 7-3 for now. This is KI8M, back to net control.
All right there, Gary, or even after the net. But right now, do we have any other check-ins? This is NA today. All right, then we're going to officially close the net, say 7-3 and God bless. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off this radio and turn on another radio and start a net immediately. Man, no rest for the wicked. God bless. Catch you next week. 7-3, net closed, NA Sunny out.
KI8M Gary, KI8M Gary, VK4MSS. You're still hanging about there all night.